Hi, guys, and welcome to the Lion's Den with Den. Um, Today, I feel like a kid at a candy store, and it is literally a candy store because I believe the person who I'll be speaking to is somebody who's quite knowledgeable. It's somebody who I always wanted to engage with, and he needs no introduction. It's none other than the Blackpen. Penuel, thank you so much
Jeez,
for coming through, man.
The Lions Den with Dan.
Dan.
Thank you so much for the invite, brother. I don't know what you mean by a candy store, but
Mm.
the little conversation we've had off air, I'm
Mm.
quite fascinated by your mind, quite fascinated by some of the work that you're doing. So I'm honored to be here.
So happy that you could join, man. By the Lions Den, it means we only speak with lions.
Oh snap!
Because,
Is that me now?
of course,
Must
you
I
are.
put on my lion voice?
Nah.
Just make sure.
You're good as is.
Oh, Chebe gang.
With the Biboyezi gang.
Sure.
Yeah. Yo, Pen, man. Yo.
Mm.
I'm so happy that I could finally sit down with you. You are one of the social commentators that I enjoy listening to, and I won't say that I religiously agree with because that is such. You can't just agree with it.
It wouldn't make any sense at all.
Exactly? It would just mean I'm just a follower
Yeah.
who doesn't have
And
thoughts
I
of
don't
their
like
own.
people like that.
Yeah.
I don't like people like that, to be honest.
Yeah.
So it's been a unique year for me.
Mm.
You know, a lot of people are starting to see me, starting to hear me.
Yeah.
I've been making content for a while. It just wasn't consistent. It wasn't focused. And I guess working with DJ Spoo and the Virtual Mkuku opened a spotlight. And then when MacG and Sol invited me on Podcast and Chill,
Yeah.
even more people saw me on there. So
Yeah.
the power of platform and reach is quite big.
Yeah.
I'm happy that people are starting to hear my mind.
Yeah.
I know maybe, I don't know if candy stores are right thing. It sounds more like a tool shed or a dustbin, but I've got a lot of thoughts that I'd like to share with the world. And
Yeah.
I think for the fact that you enjoy me,
Yeah.
it means I probably will enjoy chatting to you.
Yeah.
And the fact that you disagree with me means you are an independent thinker.
Yeah.
And those are my favorite people on the planet.
Yeah. I was saying to you before we got on air that I listened briefly to your interview with Nota, so I can't really form an opinion that much because I didn't listen to the whole thing.
Sure.
But it was just crazy. Just as the interview started, you guys were at it discussing Stalin and discussing basically your thoughts around how black people are weak.
Jeez, are we starting there?
I want to be there.
Fetu, can you not say nice things about me?
No, you're a
Zonda
great
for the whole
guy.
episode.
You're a great guy. You like
Sure.
wearing black like myself. But let's start there, man.
Sure.
I actually agree with you.
Yo.
I do agree with you on that
Sure.
part. I believe as black people we are too reserved. We are too allowing of situations that we shouldn't be allowing. We are weak essentially. We are weak. We are not lions as we are supposed to be.
I hear you.
And I get what Nota is saying, and he's talking about the biology of how we as black people are strong.
Yeah.
But I feel like there has to be a shift in how we do things as black people. And maybe I can just allow you to speak more to that.
Nota and I, or people have been wanting Nota and I to get on a platform for a while. We got on a platform, the Penuel show.
Yeah.
It's not the way people wanted it to be. And if he's willing, Nota and I are still going to mind wrestle a few times.
Yeah.
I kind of let him have his way on the show. I'm happy to debate him.
Yeah.
I'm happy to argue with him. I'm happy to call him out when he's wrong. But I invited him to my den at the time, so I was being a nice host.
Yeah.
But look, he is a great mind. He's a complicated mind. We're all dynamic beings. So you take what works for you. You eat the meat. You spit out the bones.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping we can have more conversations, and not just about him and not about me. I think there's a deep hunger, especially in this country, of important conversations.
Yeah.
Not personality conversations. I think I've been introduced now to the world.
Yeah.
He's obviously like a podcast hoe.
Yeah.
So if he hasn't been here, which I don't know if he's a lion. He's a lion. Anyways, so I'm hoping that he'll come through here because he's a bit of a podcast slut.
Yeah.
His brand
He
is out
should
there
come
now.
here.
And then now that the personalities are out there, let's now start tackling important conversations.
Yeah. Yeah.
He asked me for an apology on the Penuel show
Yeah.
for speaking about genocide and killing people. I don't even know what he was speaking about.
He never got it.
I apologized at the end, and only intelligent people picked up that I didn't apologize to what I said. I apologized to the fact that he got affected and to other people that were offended.
Yeah.
If my words, what, but I didn't say what I said was wrong. I take it back.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
It's what you believe in.
I'm in a transition period. I used to be very pro-black. Black conscious, Bantu Bigo, Minister Louis Farrakhan, Elijah Muhammad, Malcolm X, Marcus Garvey, Robert Sobugwe,
Yeah.
the black leaders.
Yeah.
Black needs to rise, black power. I set up the Buy Black movement. We still have a website now, www.buyblack.org.za.
Okay.
Because I was trying to get black people to be like, look, people have fought. They fought against the system, colonizers, Europeans, Americans. They were killed. They were psychologically oppressed,
Yeah.
etc. So I was like, we need to try something new. And I think the something new is if we can hack black people's minds and get them to buy black and work for black. In my mind, it was game over. Because what keeps the system going is the fact that black people work for other races.
Yeah.
It's the fact that black people buy from other races. In this country alone, Indians and Chinese are wealthy because of black patronage.
Yeah.
Never mind whites, just Indians and Chinese.
Yeah.
Then you look at the whites. If you speak about a white farmer, his farm is successful because he's got black farm workers. If we speak about a white miner who owns a mine, it's because of black miners. So I'm saying if black people say, according to our belief of black consciousness, I refuse to work for anyone who's not black,
Yeah.
all these other businesses will collapse tomorrow. ShopRite will be forced to hand over their business to a black owner.
Yeah.
The mines will be like, hey, the blacks don't want to work unless it's owned by black.
Yeah.
Not BEE and fronting, not that bullshit, but a real black owner. And in that way now, it's like, we'll only work for black people, we'll only buy from black people, all these other races die, and then you spread it around the world.
Yeah.
Very difficult psychological
That's
journey.
a proper revolution.
That's a proper
not
revolution.
This nonsense that we are subject
That's a proper revolution.
Yeah.
The one thing I realize is that black people are not the same. Everyone is trying to kind of run away from black problems and be sorted on their own. We're not trying to uplift black people as a collective. People want to be Patrice, they want to be Aliko Dangote, Oprah Winfrey. And then they do this pub little charity, which is not really how you uplift people. Charity is like a pacifier. It's like a dummy into a child's mouth so that the child remains useless.
Yeah.
It's one of the reasons why I hate social grants. They don't empower the person. It's not government saying, here's a shovel, here's some seeds, go plant a tree, go grow something.
Yeah.
It's government saying, come here, sir, me. Okay, thank you. Nice, Mtana, come next month again.
ANC.
So I realized black people are not the same. Some people are comfortable to front. Some people want to run businesses and be successful on their own. Some people just want to work for a company that will pay them well. And then I took a step back and I looked at my life. I was raised relatively privileged.
Yeah.
I was raised by a single mom largely. She paid for our schooling. She was a school teacher. Myself and my two siblings. Model C schools. I got to go to a nice university. Okay, I was on scholarship there. On my journey there, the number of non-black people that played a role, getting me scholarships. I was in choirs with them. I played for rugby teams with them. They invited me to their homes. They gave me lifts. I was like, it's kind of not fair. I understand a lot of white people in this country are racist.
Yeah.
I understand a lot of white people in this country don't want to share. But the bottom line is I've met good white people.
Yeah.
I've met good Indian people, colored people that have added value to my life. So for me to just be pro-black when there were non-black people that added to my life is not really fair.
Yeah.
So I decided to leave my pro-blackness and I'm now moving Like I said, it's a transition. I'm moving to become non-racialist.
Okay.
Non-racialism doesn't mean any retarded fucking racist Afrikaans person can come to me and talk shit. And I'm like, oh, I'm a non-racialist, it's fine. It means that regardless of your race, I will treat you according to your character.
Yeah.
That means if you're a black person, like, oh, but Pen, so darky. I'm like, yeah, but you're a fucking
won't
asshole.
fly.
You exploit your workers.
Yeah.
You don't give back to your community. You're living comfortably in the suburbs, but you don't even uplift your own family. So fuck you.
Yeah.
I want to find people with good character who genuinely care about doing good work, about being good to other people. Also, regardless of race.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm at now. When you look at the history, of course, we were colonized.
Yeah.
Of course, there was apartheid. Of course, black people, thanks to the ANC and other political parties, have not gotten the land back. The land that was taken. This is very important. When we say land back, we're not talking white people must leave and black people must get all the land. We're speaking specifically, there was apartheid policy that forced black people off land. And we're saying that land, it's very easy to identify because the apartheid government isolated it.
Yeah.
The ANC should have taken that land and said, we as the government are taking that land back on behalf of the people. Now that we have it, it's not yours anymore. This was 94. It's our land as the state on behalf of. Over the next 10, 20 years, we can discuss, Mlungu, can we buy this land for this black person? Maybe we'll raise the money.
Yeah.
Mlungu, do you want to keep using this land? Then you can pay a lease and we'll give these black owners that money.
Yeah.
That should have been done immediately. It didn't happen.
Yeah.
When you look at the history of where we come from as black people, must I go?
Yeah, because the thing is, I don't wanna interject you, but I have questions as well. But I think you can go. Let's go.
I'm gonna be controversial, but I'll keep it short.
Yeah.
I believe human beings are animals,
Yeah.
like all other animals, and I believe that in the jungle, animals have hierarchy. The lions, since we're in the lion's den,
Yeah.
they eat the buck. They call it the circle of life in The Lion King.
Yeah.
It's been proven, if we speak nature and history, that black people are inferior.
Very inferior.
And we can argue, and people's arguments always are short-sighted. They had superior weapons. Why didn't you have superior weapons? Yeah, but they colonized us. How could they colonize you if you were strong? We used to own universities. Where are they now? We built pyramids. Are you Egyptian? Where are your pyramids? A superior person doesn't have to constantly look to the past. We used to be strong. Show me. I'm not necessarily saying white people are superior because by white people, I'm talking the Western concepts that they brought.
Yeah.
Their concepts are destructive. That's why now we're looking into green energy.
Yeah.
We're looking into... They're realizing their own systems are problematic. But if you're going to continuously whine like a buck who watched their father getting eaten. The lions ate us. They must bring back my father. It's like, Baba, the jungle doesn't work like that. So just in a nutshell, I was just saying, if black people as a race, they are obviously black lions. I know them. The Gaba family in Durban that runs buses and taxis.
Well known.
Arguably Patrice, arguably the Dangote family and the Dantata family in Nigeria. They are black lions. The taxi industry. Some black timers that have been running businesses during apartheid.
For years.
Lions. But they are black. But as a race, collectively, or dark, if they want to be taken seriously, they're going to have to start taking on a lion attitude to what you're saying.
Yeah. No, I completely agree with you. And especially when you're saying we have taken a lot of Western concepts that perhaps some are not even that great. For example, something like patriarchy. It is a Western concept.
I agree. And a lot of black people disagree.
No, it's a Western concept, man. We grew up, like, my origins come from Limpopo.
Yes.
My grandmother there, she used to do so many things. The women in the village could do a lot of things. And it wasn't because, you won't say, I won't go and milk a cow because it's a man's job.
Sure.
Women could do that. But now, suddenly we got so westernized that we stopped doing things the African way. And a concept like patriarchy seems like something that is so African, especially when you're talking about in a marriage form where women are told that they need to behave a certain way because patriarchy. But that's not African.
You want to hear my thoughts?
Yes.
I just want to make sure the sound is
We are
sorted.
good. We are good. Don't worry.
All right.
Yeah.
We need to, as the intelligent parts of this global generation, we need to bring everything on the table. Western concepts, African concepts, Asian concepts. And we need to be like, okay, we see all of them. Let's try and see what could work best for now and into the future.
Yeah.
Not necessarily for the future, for now, into the future.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good from Western concepts.
Yeah.
We know it because we live it today. There's a lot of goods from African concepts. There's amazing things that we have not, as Africans, explored fully from the Asian parts of the world. When the Western people came in, they came with these ideas that were part of their evolution as a human race. And they came bazositshela when we had not evolved in the same way. You're coming to tell a black woman who is enjoying beautiful African sun, beautiful melanin, vitamin D, beautiful, no, you must cover yourself, your husband must, you're like, yeah, maybe in the Middle East where you guys have deserts and sand, it makes sense to protect yourself. It's a natural thing. When you bring it here, it doesn't make sense. The woman is now sweating. She's wearing a black thing and it's attractive. There's no practicality in that, even if, let's say, you are Muslim. In a similar vein, if you look at the way Africans lived, a lot of it was practical. That's why the concepts of patriarchy and matriarchy and feminism are also misunderstood.
Yeah.
Africans knew that the strongest person would lead in various ways. If you are taller than me, you now get to pick the fruit on behalf of the... So when people are like, no, the Danny tribe were the ones that would pick the fruit. No. It's because Danny was tall. And now we're like, yeah, the Danny people used to oppress us because they were the one. It worked.
Yeah.
In situations where it doesn't work, then you change it.
Yeah.
Women had a role to play. As a general, men had a role to play. There were instances where women would have to play masculine roles because that's what it required.
Yeah.
That's why for some African men who will either defend patriarchy or they say, no, but we didn't have patriarchy. The woman would know her space. I'm like, no, that also wasn't cast in stone.
Yeah.
There was general, if the woman is stronger, she would lift. If she was not, the man would help her.
Yeah.
We have to discuss even things like land, because there's this idea that women would not be allowed land rights. I'd have to go and ask for a girl's father to get the girl's hand in marriage.
Yeah.
You look at it today, women are free.
Yeah.
I'm free, I'm liberated, I don't need a man. Someone is breaking into your house, who do you call? I call a man who is maybe a police officer or security guard.
Yeah.
Something is broken in the house, I need plumbing, you call a man.
Who's a plumber?
The reason those things would be done is to make your life easy.
Yeah.
You're the queen.
Yeah.
I will be the security guard of that land. I will work that. I will sweat and break my back so that you live a soft life. You can do the nice things like cooking and playing with the kids, soft things. I'm going to be the donkey of the home. Yeah. That's what we were trying to do. So if I'm going to ask your father to take your hand, it's not necessarily because I think you are second-class citizen. It's because I'm saying, Baba, you protect this girl who's a precious flower. She can't be expected to go live in the wilderness with the wolves. Yeah. If another man comes there on her piece of land with her cows, he'll kill her. He'll rape her. I'm saying I would like to take her. I will protect her. I will make sure no other man comes here. But all of these things get lost in translation because of colonization and also because we have to speak about horrible African leaders. Yeah. Some of them which were the ones that were selling black people into slavery themselves for gold. Some African leaders, because they don't understand, will say things like, I'm from the Danny tribe. Veletina woman. You're like, Baba, no. Relax. You're wrong.
It's not about
That's not how things worked. And that's why when we speak things like decolonization, it can't just be reject Western. It also has to be, let's look at what's African and what works, what doesn't work.
And the modern times as well. Because you can't say something is wrong, but it's currently modern. That's what we're doing, right? So while we're talking about that, I want to ask you this question. If you believe that religion and to a certain extent culture, do you feel like that is oppressing the human mind?
I had a conversation about this earlier. I've been saddened and disappointed by human psychological evolution and how pathetically weak the majority minds are. We live in a dual world, a real world and a fictional world. The real world is nature. The fictional world is what human beings have created, religion being one of them, the schooling system, the legal system, everything else being on top of the real world.
Yeah.
I would think, let's say, for example, we have load shedding.
Yeah.
Okay, what's the cause? Let's find out. Can it be resolved? Hey, we don't know. We need more power plants. Okay, let's come up with temporary solutions and maybe long-term solutions while you guys are doing this thing.
Yeah.
South Africa is 15 years into load shedding. And every time we get load shedding, we all, how am I?
Yeah.
And you're like, are you telling me as a collective species, we can't shift? Religion worked at a time. It made sense. If you were Christian, if you had African beliefs, you were winning.
Yeah.
The schooling system, which came from the Industrial Revolution, it worked. If you go to school and you study and you pass,
get a
automatic job, pension, good life.
Yeah.
The world has shifted. And some of these systems have not.
Yeah.
We're living in religious systems that are 4,000 years old. It's stupid, just to put it bluntly. Yeah, but God doesn't believe in same-sex marriage. Yeah, but a woman, and you're like, I hear you, but that's from scriptures that are 4,000 years old.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I disagree with you. I'm saying, is there a case for? Because at that time, that made sense. The stories we've been told, Jesus wore a dress. Basically, what they were wearing in today's term would be a dress.
Yeah.
We don't wear that today for various reasons. Not because it's wrong, or it's because we've just moved. But why do we still hold on to?
Yeah.
So we are oppressed by religions, cultural systems, because they are not in line with the world that we live in now. And now you find purists, orthodox, traditional people who are still like, no, but as an African, and you're like, African people back in the day would move. If the cows have finished the grass, they move.
To a different
No,
land.
Tina Mlotshwa, this is our land. You're like, your land doesn't have grass anymore. Don't be a retard. We would move to fertile earth.
Yeah.
The rivers have dried up. Why are we not doing that in terms of psychological spaces? Why are we not doing that from an education point of view? Why are we not doing that from romantic relationships and so many other things? Because fundamentally, we're not living naturally like animals.
Yeah.
We've created this fictional world. And because we created it, we can shift it. But I'm sad and disappointed because it shifts at a very, very slow pace.
Yeah.
And because it shifts slow, it ends up being oppressive.
I think it's because, for example, religion has been in existence for many generations, like thousands.
Yeah.
So it won't be easy for us to shift from religion. It has to take more years for us.
Why?
Because that is just how human nature is, right?
I don't think so.
I'll tell you something.
Sure.
I was born in this family that's really Christians, right?
Yeah.
So that means from the age of 1 until maybe age of 10, I'm taught all about Jesus.
Yeah.
That's all I know. That's the gospel I know.
Yeah.
And maybe let's say I don't open my mind to different things up until the age of 20.
You're not allowed to open your mind to different things, by the way, if you're Christian.
Well, yeah, I suppose.
You might be worshipping false idols.
No, I'm just making an example.
I hear you.
Yeah. So, by the age 20, I have been in this same mindset for 20 years.
Yeah.
Being taught about Christianity, being taught about other things are wrong as long as it's not Christianity, right? So, for me to then have a mind shift, I will not completely go from 0 to 100. It has to be gradual. Something has to open up my mind to say, hey, maybe Christianity is wrong on this part. And then I will obviously inquire more. But what I'm telling you right now is to say, it won't be easy to quickly change your mindset to something completely foreign from what you've been taught.
Do you have elders in your family?
Yeah.
Do they use WhatsApp?
Not all of them. Yeah.
They use cell phones.
Yeah.
When I look at concepts like cell phones, WhatsApp, especially a concept like WhatsApp, because WhatsApp never had a rollout plan.
No.
It's something that we all learned on the go. And press how quickly we shifted.
Yeah.
Online. Our parents know TikTok,
Yeah.
the internet.
Yeah.
If you look at the extremely powerful force that is money, when we speak, this is our land. But as soon as someone's like, oh, there's a job in Cape Town, it's paying you, you move.
Yeah.
If, for example, in this country, give you a stupid example, we're speaking social grants.
Yeah.
And being pacified. If our government said tomorrow, guys, government has taken a decision that before you earn a grant, you have to have attended 50 sessions at the mosque and you have to convert to Islam. People would change. Small incentive, but a life-changing incentive.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is it seems like some people need to be bullied, bashed, dictated to before they change. Whereas in other aspects of their lives, all of a sudden, umama knows ukuthi ayikhathi ngiyathepha. Your old mkhulu knows ukuthi ndlala lezi zinto zo Facebook. And yet their belief systems and other things have remained. But they're willing to move to these other things because they're like, no, but this is how I call my son. Video. I don't know why you would stay in an oppressive space when there's a better space and then hide behind religion. This is what my mother did. This is what my father did. We shift language. I come from a space where my mother used to go and fetch firewood. Why you tezi inkuni? They used to fetch water from the river. She moved to the township. She moved us to the suburbs. I've now moved her to Johannesburg. She's been on an aeroplane. She's planning to go over all in one lifetime. She used to be very cultural, then she became religious, and now at some point she was atheist, and now she claims that she believes in my religion. In one life, I have case studies of this can be done. There must just be a good enough incentive. And it seems like, this is what we were saying about inferiority. It seems like people are comfortable being oppressed. Because if you're telling them the water is there, they don't want to go to the water. We speak today about two things. People still vote ANC. No, but my grandfather voted ANC. But they're happy to go and shop at a Woolworths. Their grandfather didn't shop at Woolworths.
No.
People are happy to move to this type of space. But then in other things, no, my grandmother was a... And you're like, yeah, you realize that you're a hypocrite. You are oppressing yourself. You can't say, but this is what my family did. Like, but your family didn't do this. And here you are doing it because you believe it's better. Move these things as well. That's my challenge at least.
Is it not because, yes, I am oppressed, but I don't feel like I'm being oppressed?
Yes. It's partly Stockholm Syndrome. Stockholm Syndrome is when you develop a bond with your oppressor. To this day, in 2022, Imdeni, the families of Guaduma, Nawazuma, and KZN, they still cut the face with the razor. Imdeni, the families of Bagangubane, as an example, they still chop the pinky. It's a form of insanity. Obviously, someone will be like, oh my gosh, that's scary. There are people that do that. And I'm like, you're a woman. Do you still pierce your ears? No, but that's different. It's pain. It's mutilation. This guy might be doing it on his face. You're doing it on your earlobes.
The same.
You're getting weaves. You're getting hairs and it's being pulled. You are relaxed. Are you putting chemicals? You're burning your... So you're also self-mutilating in a way. It's retarded what human beings do in the name of... This is what's right. So it's like we create a bond and we call it culture. This is what my family did. No, this is beautiful. We must celebrate our heritage. For people like myself, what we call critical independent thinkers, people who study the world and how it has been created, it's important that we question these things and we start getting other people to question, because where we are in society, the cutting of the face, for example, someone decided that at some point. Human beings weren't born cutting their faces. No. So the same way someone decided it, the same way someone picked a surname, we have the power to do the same. We're no different to our ancestors. You claim that you are one with your ancestors. Prove it. Show that you can move. Show that you can create spaces. Show that you can find new herbs. Show that you can invent. We spoke about universities. Create new universities. Your ancestors built structure universities in their time. Build online universities. Prove that you can build pyramids in the metaverse. I need to know you're powerful. You were a king. Show us that you're a king. No, but the king, no, that means you're weak. There's a chance that you don't have royal blood in you.
still referring to King Mansa, who died thousands of years ago.
If he was even real.
Yeah, you wouldn't know.
Your beliefs around religion, since you're speaking about it. Because you believe it's harder and you understand why we don't move.
Okay, so I'm Christian.
Yes.
And
are you?
Yeah, I'm Christian, but
as a label or
as a label.
Okay.
I'm Christian as a label, but somehow there's a lot of self-regulation when it comes to me. So I'm not completely Christian, and you're gonna say certain things are wrong or certain things are right. I'm Christian because I was born in a Christian family. Mm-hmm. There are certain values that I believe, especially when it comes to the family values.
Sure.
I believe that religion somehow shapes us to have a proper family setup.
Sure.
Now, I'm a critical thinker, so there are certain things that if they don't make sense to me, they don't make sense to me, and I will not go and have an argument in favor of Christianity when I feel like it's wrong, right? So, yeah, my religion, I'm Christian. That's what I believe in.
I spoke about incentives. Do you believe that the incentive to keep family peace and family alignment is one of the reasons why you'll carry on holding on to Christianity before you move? Because that would then answer why some people still hold on to oppression.
Yeah. For me, certainly. I mean, family is quite important for me. I like the setup that we currently have at home. And obviously, you are talking about something different, which is something I never even thought of. But the incentive, yes, if I was to say, what exactly do I like about Christianity? Or what exactly do I like about my life currently? Is the family setup. I love how it is. I love how we are raising our kids, and that would be something that is holding me back.
Because if you fight back, you might be isolated. I think for some of us,
for
some of us who rebel, you do it either because you're not aware or because you're comfortable with being written off.
Yeah.
What fascinates me about Christianity is a great religion, by the way. Islam is great. Judaism, the Abrahamic faiths are great. But Christianity is particularly great and fascinating because of the figure. Jesus Christ was a rebel. It blows my mind that Christians seem to not align that thought.
No, he was.
The people that you guys worship, the gateway into Christianity is I believe in Jesus Christ as my Savior and as the Son of God.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ was a rebel. He went around challenging religious figures.
Status quo.
He went around traveling to spread his message. He hung around people that were deemed undesirable. Jesus Christ was not a Christian.
Yeah.
Which means that when you read a lot of the Gospels that are in the book, we don't know if he would have agreed with them.
Yeah.
It's people giving their perceptions. What he believed in that we know for sure is peace, love your neighbor,
forgiveness,
do good, forgiveness. And then Christians are going to be like, but the thing about God, and you're like, your figure was like me. And not only was he willing to be isolated away from his family, his people, he was willing to die for his belief.
Yeah.
And that's what some of us are trying to do. I may not be Christian, but I'm almost living like Christ.
Yeah.
I'm rebelling in the same way Jesus did. I am challenging religious authority figures like Jesus did. And I'm saying I'm building my own thing and I'm the one coming to spread a message like Jesus did. And yet I get attacked by Christians.
Yeah.
It blows my mind. But that's the world we live in.
Yeah, true.
Sorry. I was asking you about your
religion now, well, you've started your own religion.
Yeah.
And I think I remember seeing a video where you were talking about two religious figures, South African religious figures.
Oh, yes, I'm a pause.
Yeah. What would you say is the biggest takeaway from those guys that is something that you may implement in your own religion?
The guys you're speaking about is Isaiah Shembe of Isonto Lama Nazareta.
Yes.
The Shembe Church. The other one is, I don't remember his name, but the founder of
Engenas,
Lekganyane. Who?
Engenas.
So I don't remember his name, but I know the Lekganyane family of the ZCC Church. Very beautiful stories to learn. You know, in this country, we've got beautiful history.
Yeah.
We speak about apartheid and colonization in the British. There's beautiful history of human beings. I mean, just study the story of Keza Mtaung, Irvin Khoza, just as business case studies, as community men, as family leaders. These guys, unlike me, did not start their own religion. They were actually Christian. They found themselves within certain Christian groups, and then they ascended in those churches, and it got to a point where they broke away.
Yeah.
And in their breaking away, they created their own form of, with a little bit of tweaking, built great churches, great following, very loyal, very African. The men themselves, extremely charismatic. Isaiah Shembe, for example, came up with his own clothing. He wrote his own music, his own dance. We speak Orania now, and Amabunu. The guy went and he got a piece of land and he built his own community. Back then, when the community became too small, that's when he invited Shembe people to go and work for others.
Yeah.
But he enforced strict discipline, like military. So the white people that hired these people are like, you're Shembe. They're like, hey, that means you want to be a good worker. To this day, you know the discipline of people by ZCC.
Yeah.
You see them in how they dressed and how they greet and how
they carry themselves.
and how they carry themselves.
Yeah.
You know, so there's a lot of positives to learn from those people. My religion becomes different as a deviation because number one, I did not start in a church space where I ascended to be under the pastor or to build a breakaway church. I have created something completely new.
Yeah.
Yes, it borrows from everything.
Yeah.
It's almost impossible to create
Such
something.
is life, yeah.
It's almost impossible to create something new. Even Black Coffee, my kind of has to use certain software he didn't create, certain
Some
keyboard.
plugins, yeah.
He might use some melodies you've heard. Come on. So I borrow from some of the good from certain belief systems. The other unique thing about mine is I am not a messenger. So Shembe, I think him and Lekganyane both may have had dreams or they had a calling or someone said, hey, I see something special in you. I am not a messenger of anyone. That becomes different. All the other guys, maybe Buddha, Muhammad, they were God sent me. Even Khampi Zangoma, Nezinyanga, some of them, they'll be like, hey, no, hey, abagini bayakhuluma umvilinqanga uNkulunkulu. I'm not a messenger. I am, but I am not a representative of anything. I'm saying I'm not building a belief system where I'm interpreting God differently. I'm saying I'm God. I'm the source. And if you need to reference anything, be like Penuel says. Not Jesus Christ says, God says. Or Muhammad says, Allah says. Penuel is saying, Penuel says. It's brave, it's bold, it's new, it's fresh, it's innovative, it's for the future, some for the kids. But it's because I don't want when people challenge my belief system.
Yeah.
We call it a religion for ease of understanding.
Yeah, sure.
It's a belief system. I don't want people to challenge me and be like, yeah, but so your God, how does he explain? Ask me. Ask me to explain floods. Ask me to explain. And then if you're like, but how do you know that? I'll reference. It may be referencing science. It may be referencing a Christian God. But ask me, I'll tell you. And the end must be Penuel says.
Yeah.
So that's my religion. But very great stories to learn. Lekganyane and Shembe, not just from a religious perspective, but anyone who's trying to build a life-changing organization of disciplined people that go and affect the world. I'm sad that these churches have failed currently to fully plug into the future. I think the Shembe Church, as an example, could own their own media platforms. I believe they could have their own schooling systems. I believe they could be colonizing parts of the world. And everywhere you go in the world, they're like, oh, this is actually a Shembe. In a similar fashion that the Jews have done. Jews are a very small group of people, 18 million in the world. I think there's less of them than Zulus in the world. But if you look at their impact on the global monetary system, on the global legal system, and everywhere you go, it's a Jewish business, this is a Jewish school, this is a Jewish neighborhood. I wish the Lekganyane, at least the legacy kids now, because I've met some of the kids. I wish some of them can plug into the future. I hope. I'm not holding my breath. Misu Zulu went to a good private school, St. Charles. At some point, he was living in America. I wish he could come in and revolutionize the Zulu kingdom. Can they build a Zulu Facebook where all Zulu people go and put their information there? and you build family trees on a social media platform. And you say, if I'm Mlotshwa, I have to join the Mlotshwa group. I put my ID number, and all of a sudden they have information of the Zulu nation. When I have a new child, I put them on this Zulu. If I'm making music, Maskandi music, can they create a database that belongs to Zulu? Can you revolutionize Zulu wear? Guys, we used to wear amapeshu. Today we're now coming up as Umisu Zulu, the king of the Zulus. We're coming up with new flavor. We're doing hemp. We're doing futuristic. These are the designs. It's going to go global. We're doing... They're not doing it. They're holding on to that old fucking outdated kak. And yet on the other side, they're still living this Western life. It's very sad for me. But
while we're talking Mrs. Zulu, do you think it's still wise to have that tradition where a lion is being killed? Especially with the device that is being used, like a gun.
It's symbolic. It's symbolic and hollow, just like the titles of these kings we have. It is not wise, but it's a show. And people love shows. Are you not entertained? Is that not why you're here?
Yeah.
People want to see a good show, and it's a good show. You'd wish that they could be more spectacular. The world has got so much. Umiso Zulu, we can use technology, green screen, and you could be seen wrestling a lion, and like, hey, Inkosi Zulu. To take a gun which was brought by the colonizer, which colonized and took land from the same people.
Yeah.
We don't even know if he shot the lion. Shooting a poor lion in the wild, which is in an enclosure. He wasn't even hunting it. And
no.
It's just done for symbolic reasons. It's beautiful. But it's kind of a bastardization of the beliefs. It's actually a big fuck you to what the leaders did before.
Yeah.
In the same way, when we slaughter now, even when we do African beliefs, when you're going to marry a girl and you're like, hey, Pen, I'm a cultural man. Where do these nkomos come from? You don't know. You didn't raise them. You can't tell me where these cows come from. So there isn't even a bond with these animals that you're letting go of.
True.
You're getting them from Van der Merwe's farm.
Yeah.
To be sent. Even more bastardization is sending money. The same oppressive money. And then you say, I'm a cultural man. When Penuel says he doesn't pay lobola, he's forsaken his culture. And I'm like, hey, fuck you and your culture. These are not even your cows.
It's selective modernization.
So from a symbolic perspective, look, for the idiots who follow this bullshit, it works for them. I'm not the target market.
Yeah.
I can't afford
the
symbolism they're selling. It's not for me.
Yeah.
It's for the deep Zulus that understand. Hey, I'm detached. Maybe I've lost my way. I've been colonized.
Yeah.
It works for them. So if they're happy, that's all that matters. The the client is happy. The client must sign off. The client's happy. For me, I think it's stupid, and that's why there was a time when I thought of challenging for the Zulu throne. And I was like, I want to challenge the Zulu throne so that I can modernize and revolutionize it, so that Zulus can become the most powerful group of people on the planet.
Yeah.
When we speak North Korea and the Kim family, when we speak China and Xi Jinping and Mao, when we speak of what they've done in South Korea with Samsung, Kia, Hyundai, when we look at the Americans and the Rockefellers, the Carnegies, etc., when we look at what's been built in Europe, again, the Rothschilds, the Medici, all these great... I believe the House of Zulu could have been phenomenal. Yeah. Then I realized there are too many idiotic minds there in the followers and then even at leadership levels. And I was like, I'm going to get killed, of course. Yeah, of course. Which is not going to be a nice... I don't want to be Jesus. I don't want to be killed. I died trying to liberate the Zulu people from... I was like, I think in the time we're living in, I can move smarter. So let me build my own thing, make it fucking cool, make it modern, make it futuristic. It's going to be tough. Yeah. I don't know how long it took for Christianity to light up. It's old now. Yeah. So that's why people are like, yeah, but Christianity. I'm like, but at the time, the people killed the leader, to be honest. So I'm happy to die not having built this thing, but to at least start a little fire. Yeah. And hopefully people over time will then buy into my belief system. Yeah. And I think that's going to be the way I'm going to steal it's not even going to be the idiotic followers. I'm going to steal the best of all groups and not just black people to build a futuristic world. I think Silicon Valley's done that well. Yeah. I think Hollywood has done that well. Yeah. I think some of the foremost leading spaces in the world that are sculpting the world, United Nations, have collaborated with the best minds, regardless of where they come from, to create something that actually impacts. Shembe, Lekganyane, Islam, all of us were locked down under COVID because that elite group of people had the
United
power to
Nations.
do that to us.
Yeah. Now, I get it because we've been at it for quite some time.
I told you that your time is going to be too short. 30 minutes. Yeah,
I underestimated you. I'm thinking, let's talk politics.
Yeah.
Let's talk South Africa as it currently is at the moment.
Yeah.
What we know, there's a lot that's wrong, but maybe you can just do a quick summary of what's wrong and maybe how can we get ourselves out of this dungeon that we find ourselves in.
What's wrong with South Africa as a nation is we inherited it from colonizers and people. It's similar to the conversations we've been having. It worked for certain people at certain times in history. We're in a time now where we're meant to dismantle and change and innovate some of the systems. Do we want South Africa to be a sovereign state? Why? Do we want to go to the United Nations and remove some of the borders? Do we want to close some of the borders? Do we want to create new borders? Kampi KwaZulu must be its own new country, nation. Maybe the Western Cape, Abelungu wanted, maybe we must give it to them. Let's look at just the foundation. Do we still want to be a country, and do we want to deal with private land ownership? And who must be the custodian? Must it be government? Must it be someone else? The legal system we have is problematic. It requires money, which most people don't have. So if you and I commit the same crime and I have money and you don't, you want to sleep in prison. I'm going to pay bail and I'm going to sleep at home. The way our case is going to go, I'm going to get better service than you.
True.
Because I have money. Legal aid is swamped. It's got backlogs. The people there. I mean, I'm going to hold my lawyer accountable because I'm going to be like, Barry, but I paid money. Khairi, what's happening? Dali, come on, Buff. It can't be. So he pushes kind of situation. So our legal system is built on money. And it's built on who you know. Because we've seen politicians be caught guilty, but they're not in jail. So clearly, it's not just money. It's also who you know. We need to dismantle the legal system. We need to find a justice system that works on what is right, what's just. We need to dismantle our schooling system, or at least revolutionize it, because it's not aligned to what our economy needs. It's not aligned to what the people need, etc. So what's wrong with South Africa's political system, because it affects all the things we're speaking about, even from a business perspective, BEE, white monopoly, capital, whatever. Once we dismantle or change politics, we then ask, do we actually want democracy? Do we want a dictator? Because that's what it's called. But actually, we want one leader who we call our father. That's what they have in the tribal leaderships. It's a dictatorship. You can't say, "I no, Misuzulu, Stella a new king. It's been 5 years, Baba." That's a form of dictatorship. You don't choose. But because it's called a nice name, this is our king, Baba Wetu. Hey, do we actually want to go back to that? We moved before 94 from a constituency democracy to a party representative democracy. What Abelungu had, Namapunu had before is in a certain area, you would vote for a person within an area and they would go to parliament on behalf of the area. Someone people. You know. Doesn't matter which party they align to, but you've given them a mandate. We live here in this space. These are our issues. Maufika parliament, guys, we've got potholes back where I come from. My people are angry. They want to remove me from this parliamentary seat because I'm not working. Today you vote for a political party and they choose Ramaphosa is going to be Didi Mabuz. Whether you like that person or not. So even when you complain as a party member, you're just one voice amongst. So the systems are broken. And then it filters down now because the systems are broken. Whether you have competent or incompetent people becomes a mess. And we unfortunately have incompetent people. If we don't like Figil and Balula, we can't leave them. You'll be told, no, there are processes. You must submit to a... They say that because they know. But when people tell you, go through the right channels, it's because they know the channels are corrupt.
They are the channels.
Yes, it's because they know they are the channels. So we need to change all of those things. The ANC government has failed the people. Largely, they've done a lot of good work. But if we are passing them, we'd probably give them the same pass rate they have in the schooling system now. 30, 40%. I don't know what their pass rate is. Because they've built the homes. They've built some roads. They've put some kids through school. Thanks to NSFAS, some kids got tertiary. There are kids that are working today. Danki Kongolos. But it's because 40%. The rest is corruption. We look at the potholes. We're looking at load shedding. State-owned enterprises. Is South Africa a functioning economy? Have black people regained their dignity? Have they gotten their land back? Are they active in the economy?
No.
Are they global players? Where is our Samsung? Where is our Naspers? Where is our Tesla? What have we built that we can say, hey, but the ANC government, look at, they built Eskom and SAS. We haven't. It might be early days, but it doesn't even look like we're moving in that direction.
It's not early days.
And the ANC government is actually still piggybacking off apartheid infrastructure.
Yeah.
They're still piggybacking off white business. White business is holding the country up. And these leaders, not just ANC, EFF, can throw the DA and others. They live in these same white neighborhoods. They send their kids to private schooling, private healthcare. And yet they're entrusted to revolutionize public things, public goods for everyone. But they're not. So I've got huge issues with our political system on a fundamental basis, but also with the incompetence at the top.
Yeah. So if we are to be realistic, do you think things can actually change? Because from what you did with the overview, you laid it down very well, and it seems like what you picked up as issues will always be issues, even in the near future. How do we move away from the current political system that we find ourselves in?
Do you personally believe that I have the potential to build a religion that becomes powerful over time?
Over time, yes.
Do you believe that?
Yeah.
I'm just a boy from Enyukasela,
I do.
I'm just a guy.
Yeah.
Just a black South African.
Yeah.
You believe I can shift the world?
You can.
Through my religion?
Eventually. It will take time.
If you believe I can shift the world through religion, then politics is tiny. I believe we can change it. I believe we can change it. And it's not going to, at a macro level, macro politics, it might take longer. At a micro level, to what I'm asking you about my religion, I think some of us in our spaces, Duduzane Zuma in Durban, Nhlanhla Lux in Soweto, Ian Cameron in Cape Town, Gayton Mckenzie in the Central Karoo, I think if people start lighting small fires where they are, it's going to be much easier to dismantle the bigger system later. But we need the right type of leadership at the bottom. And you spoke about family values. Africans have lost, whether we blame colonization or whatever, we've lost the concept that society is built on family. Family is the brick that builds the house. Tina, to us, we're waiting for government and the UN to build, to design the house. Bazokupi Foundation. To be honest, the brick that builds the house is the family.
Yeah.
And if you are not fixing your family, the little influence you have, how am I raising my kids?
Yeah.
How am I treating my woman? How is she treating me? Which church are we going to? Do my kids believe in hard work? Does my woman believe, I must get an allowance? I mean, what kind of... Your brick is already rotten. The next brick is rotten. Doesn't matter what type of designer you get.
Yeah.
You can't build anything stable from there. So
Yeah.
I think all of us need to focus on where we can influence. And I promise you we can shift. Trevor Noah's shifting the world in his own way in America, or Black Coffee, of course. Elon Musk, as the richest man in the world, is pushing for electric cars. People are thinking electric cars. People are thinking, can we build rockets? Tabang, we're speaking rockets, and I'm already thinking South Africa, why are we not building ships and airplanes? Our ambitions are so low. Every kid wants to have a sneaker brand that imports from Asia. Come on, man. Be a bit more ambitious.
Yeah, I get
So I believe we can change it. And I'm playing my little Jesus role in the ways that I can.
Yeah, I hear you. I'm still digesting what you just told me now.
Sure.
Well, as much as you're saying we can have our own, we can burn our own fires in our own little corners, of which I believe we are, I somehow feel like sometimes you can be isolated. And sometimes the guys who are in charge of the status quo can somehow attack you. For example, if you look at your Nhlanhla Lux, for example.
Yes.
ever since, well, we were happy when he was coming to prominence, but for some odd reason, especially after that incident at Maponya Mall, things started happening to him suddenly. Now there are political parties on the ground who are fighting him, and he's being portrayed as this person who is anti-foreigners and things like that. So I'm saying, as much as we are trying to influence from our own little corners, do you not think that it would be easier if yourself, Nhlanhla Lux, Gayton Mckenzie were all just one group fighting the same battle?
It's still early. We might get there, but it's still early. It's still too early. So we're coming up in a time now where we're trying to shift how the world operates. It's not new, but it's newish for us. A lot of us don't really know what we're doing. We're trying here, we're trying there. People are being accused of being sellouts, of being captured. Obviously, because we're dealing with inferior minds that don't understand that I have the power to actually influence. I think what we're trying to do is, I'll speak about Nhlanhla, I'll speak about Duduzane, I'll speak about Gayton, Ian Cameron. We are trying to believe in our own hype. We don't have military service, we don't have a war somewhere out there, but we're trying to earn our stripes. So that if one day we combine as an Avengers, the Avengers team, and I come through there as Captain America, you want to be like, what are your credentials? What have you done? Hey, look at what I've done in the central. What have you done? Look at what I've shifted. Maybe it will be an easier conversation then. For us to combine now as puzzle shops, I don't know if that's best now. Additionally, we have ideological differences, which are going to make it difficult. But we do have aligned interests, which is what I'm trying to highlight. That's why I meet with all these guys. You meet with AfriForum. These guys claim they want a better South Africa. Gayton Mckenzie claims, Nhlanhla Lux. So we all claim we want. But maybe these guys differ here, there, whatever. And I'm like, for the fact that we want the same thing, I'm like, I want to focus on that. And if Duduzane is cleaning streets, I'm like, I support that. If Ian Cameron is patrolling with Action Society, I support that. If Nhlanhla Lux is saying, not me, as Nhlanhla Lux, but the people of Soweto are saying we want illegal foreigners gone. I'm like, he's speaking on behalf of the people, and realistically, people of Soweto, they came and they forced their way in. So I can support some of those things, and hopefully we'll find something. What may happen, certain personalities are going to become stronger than others. And one of them might end up becoming Robert Mugabe, Idi Amin, and running South Africa, which is fine. Some of them might go and set up other things somewhere else. And they end up running a big company somewhere, or they go to another country. Che Guevara exported revolution. Guy was not even Cuban. People don't even know that. He went to Cuba because of Betandizi. He's a Laika. And he helped Abu Fidel and I think Raul was his brother. Abu Fidel and them overthrow the government. Then he came to Africa and said, hey guys, what's happening here? Let's fight. Let's overthrow the... So some of us might end up going to other nations and doing something else and being like, guys, we saw what you guys did in South Africa with the Broederbond and building Naspers and all these companies. Can you come do the same in Europe, in China? Sure. We can do that. So you go to another nation. I'm trying to focus on my belief system so that I'm not competing for space. I'm not trying to be a politician. I'm not trying to be the king of the Zulus. I'm building my religion. And my religion is based on, do you align with my principles? Do you see me as your leader? Please come through. So that if someone's like, Penuel, yes, he never campaigned. He didn't promise me 350. He's not saying, but your grandfathers were Penuelists. I align to his belief system and I follow his leadership. I can vote ANC. I can be a white Afrikaner. I can live in Orania. But my belief is Penuelism. And that's going to be my contribution, at least to the world.
God, Penuel, thank you so much for today, man. I believe we could have spoken for the next 3 hours, but time is not allowing us to. I hope we can have another session some other time.
Please.
Just to go over some of the parts that we didn't discuss today. It's been a pleasure meeting you. It's been a pleasure sucking you of
Candy shop.
of the candies, as I said in the beginning.
Dustbin.
I'd really love to have another session with you in the near future, man.
Danny, I've been honored to meet you. I'm really excited about the Lion's Den and what it's going to become.
Yeah.
I'm always happy to meet great minds, of which you have one, obviously. I'm looking forward to colonizing your mind and using you as my disciple to colonize others.
Yeah.
I believe we're all trying to live better and be happier and become stronger. And platforms like this and conversations like this are our attempt to make the world a better place. Wishing you nothing but the best of success with what you're doing and the work you're doing, because you told me what you do for a living. So I'm hoping we can collaborate in some way. If not me and you, maybe some of the people in my networks.
Yeah, certainly.
And yeah, man, thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, man.
The Lion's Den. We're dead.
For episode 1 of The Lion's Den.